Take a moment to look around you. Everything from furniture to food, clothing to electronics had to get there somehow. Before that, it had to be manufactured. This is true for the device you're watching this video on, and the construction materials of the building you're sitting in right now. It's an obvious observation, but a profound one. The series of steps that go into getting goods made, shipped, and delivered to you is called the supply chain, and it's quietly powering your lifestyle. Every day, raw materials are extracted from the earth and forged into products. An intricate network of boats, planes, trucks, and people work in unison with no central authority at the top, all to make modern life possible. In just a moment, I'll talk about how the supply chain works. In the meantime, if you run a business and you need help shipping orders to your customers, we'd be happy to help. We're Fulfillrite, and we run a fulfillment center based in New Jersey. To request a quote, click the link in our description to get started. First, let's define the supply chain. According to Wikipedia, the supply chain is the flow of goods and services involving the movement and storage of raw materials, works in process, and finished goods from the point of origin to the point of consumption. Interconnected or interlinked networks, channels, and node businesses combined in the provision of products and services required by end customers. I don't know about you, this explanation doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, so you can think of it instead in this way. The supply chain has 10 parts, and we'll get into what those 10 parts are in this video. Step 1. Planning for demand. Managing the supply chain is complicated. In order to coordinate anything at all, you need to have at least a rough idea of how many products you need in inventory. That means if you're running a business, you have to figure out how much you're going to sell before anyone ever places an order for products. Now, with good estimates, you can figure out how much needs to be moved, stored, and sold. And estimating demand is complicated enough that it really should have its own video. But for now, in the description, you can see an additional resource if you would like to learn more about how this works. Step 2. Creating a continuous flow of information. Supply chain management requires sophisticated technology. When working for large companies, forecasting demand alone requires computers capable of taking a lot of input data and processing it really quickly. At the same time, businesses need to be able to track raw materials, works in process, and inventory. When goods are in transit, business owners want to be able to know where they are. All of these functions require a vast network of interconnected machines all talking to one another. When you order something online, you interact with multiple companies, though you're not consciously aware of it. At a minimum, the seller, their warehouse, and the carriers who transport goods for home delivery all receive just enough information to do their jobs. Step 3. Materials management. As all things are made of atoms, so too are all products made of materials. In order to keep the supply chain unbroken, there needs to be a non-stop flow of parts. As you might expect, this is called materials management. Based on demand, companies have to figure out how much inventory they need, and this helps them figure out how much they need to manufacture. The manufacturers use this information to figure out how much raw material they need to get started. Now, done well, materials management plays a part in delivering high-quality goods on time to the customer. After all, you can't build a house without lumber and nails. Step 4. Inventory management. To move supplies and create goods, businesses need to be able to track them. This is where inventory management comes in handy. Companies need to keep the right kind of stock at the right levels, in the right place, at the right time, and at the right cost. Inventory management is valuable because it helps businesses you buy from manage costs. That means cheap goods and a good experience for you. Now at Fulfillrite, as with a lot of fulfillment centers like us, we actually provide software to help our clients easily track inventory. Step 5. Manufacturing and production. Raw materials are not magically turned into sellable products. It takes careful planning by supply chain managers to ensure that manufacturing and production efforts are efficient and productive. That means production planning is an important part of the process too, and it determines which products are made, how many products to make, when to make the products, and how to set up the facilities needed to make the products. Step 6. Transportation. The one constant in supply chain management is that something has to move. Raw materials travel by road, rail, sea, or air to manufacturers, and finished products ship by road, rail, sea, or air to a warehouse. When sold, either to an individual like you or to a wholesaler, warehouses hand over goods to carriers who transport them to their customers. This zigzagging network of vehicles is what enables goods to be physically moved from one place to another. All the planning in the world would be useless without people or companies who specialize in actually moving the goods. Doing this cost effectively is very hard and requires careful thinking. Air is more expensive than trucks. Trucks cost more than rail. Sea shipping is the cheapest of them all, but it's also very slow. Sometimes it makes sense to ship cheaply and slowly, and sometimes it doesn't. Logistics experts are always making cost-benefit calculations based on time, cost, and risk of damaged or lost goods. Step 7. Warehousing and distribution. Factories and workshops do not hold on to finished products for very long. If they were to do so, they would eventually run out of room. Therefore, producers, in coordination with their clients, ship goods to a warehouse for storage. This is part of what Fulfillrite does. We receive and store goods. Warehouses come in many different varieties, and that determines the type of inventory that can be stored. Fulfillment centers like ours are warehouses, as are rail yards and ports. If goods need to be refrigerated, there are special cold storage warehouses. Retailers often have warehouses in the back of their stores. Even a business owner's home can be a warehouse with a big enough garage. Step 8. Order fulfillment. There is no point in holding on to goods forever. Once in a warehouse, one of two things usually happens. Either a customer orders goods directly, often online, or goods go to a distributor, that is, a physical store. At Fulfillrite, we receive orders from our clients on behalf of their customers, and then we fill those customer orders. In fact, this is a complicated enough subject that we've got a whole other video on YouTube about that as well. Step 9. Returns management. Returns are part of the supply chain too, and it's exactly what it sounds like. If you break something and send it back to the warehouse staff must make a decision based on the requests of their clients. Should the item be repaired, put back into stock, or thrown away? Depends on the item, and depends on what the client wants. Step 10. Customer experience. Nothing I've mentioned in this video so far even begins to matter without, well, you. The grand global stage upon which the supply chain is carried out is but one way to meet the unmet needs of the humble customer. And sometimes not so humble. Because of major online retailers like Amazon, consumers now have really high expectations. They want their product shipped cheaply, safely, and above all, quickly. And you can't blame them. No matter what, businesses are obligated to manage their supply chain in a way that meets or exceeds your expectations as a customer. This is a big enough deal to warrant its own step, the management of customer experience alone. In our complicated world, it takes an extraordinary amount of thought to move goods from one place to another. Experts must plan for demand, share information, and manage materials. They must keep inventories, coordinate transportation, and select warehouses for storage. And most of all, they must get their product into the hands of customers like you, all while keeping you happy. Managing a company's supply chain takes a lot of work, and it can be very overwhelming. At Fulfillrite, we provide warehousing and order fulfillment services. That means we'll ship orders on your behalf, leaving you with more time and happier customers. If you're interested in our services, click the link in our description to request a quote today. That's all we have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please take a moment to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you see our videos when they first drop. And in the comments below, let us know what we should talk about next. We love to hear your suggestions.